In the previous video, I showed you how to quickly light the scene using volumetric setup. In this video, I'll be showing you how to model the bookshelf component that makes up the pedestal for the statue. Hi, my name is Ken Liang, and welcome to How to Make a Dark Souls Boss Room. Before we begin, you will need to download this texture image of a bookshelf if you intend to follow along. The link is in the descriptions below. Are you ready? Let's begin. Start the second instance of Blender and delete the default cube. Copy the cube in our scene and paste it in a new scene. We will be using this one because the position and size were already confirmed in the blocking phase. Import the bookshelf texture as an image plane. Keep in mind that you need to enable the Import Images as Planes add-on in order to do this. Move the plane into position and split it into half with an edge. We will only be needing 2 columns for this texture, so go ahead and add another edge here and delete the unwanted faces. Now, add in the corresponding number of edges vertically and horizontally to match the texture image. Select those new edges and bevel them a little. Then, select all the faces and inset them to match the shelf in the texture as closely as possible. Switch to the UV editor to fix the map where they are slightly off. When you are done, select the faces with books on them and extrude them inside. Switch the blend mode to opaque to get rid of the weird clipping effect. You can also do this by disconnecting the alpha node from the shader in the shader editor. Then, select the faces without the books and unwrap its UV. Scale the map down to a dot and move it to the darkest pixel on the image texture. The first part of the bookshelf is done. Let's move on to the next part. Select the imported cube and delete the right half of the faces. Select and move the vertices at the rear to the front like this, so that the depth of this mesh is around 0.1 meter. Select the vertices at the left side and shorten the width by 0.1 meter as well. Insert an edge loop and move it to about where the edge of the book rack is. Then, add another 4 edge loops along the height of the shelf. Try to follow the placement of these edges to where I position them on my shelf. We need to resize the book rack to follow the lines on the bigger shelf. Make sure to move the 3D cursor to the corner and scale the rack from there. Afterwards, select the faces on the bigger shelf where the rack is overlapping and extrude them inside. What I'm going to do next is select these faces and extrude them out like this. Then, select these faces at both ends and delete them. I'm going to select this edge here and assign it as a vertex group. You'll see why in a minute. Don't forget to rename them. I'll be creating another vertex group for this edge. And another for this one. Now here comes the fun part. Add a bevel modifier, set it to affect vertex group, and select the first vertex group in the drop-down. We will need to increase the number of segments to about 20 in order to see results. Enable the custom profile checkbox and choose a preset that you like most. Repeat these steps for the remaining two vertex groups. Try experimenting with different presets, or even modify them to create your own design. Once you are happy with the design, add a mirror modifier to complete the other half of the shelf. Do the same for the book rack. As you can see, the textures here are completely mirrored. Since our texture originally contains a few more unused columns, we can make it look more natural by offsetting the textures with this slider here. We are almost finished with the modeling. Let's parent the objects together and move them into a new collection. Reset the 3D cursor to the world's origin and add a collection instance of the shelf. Rotate it by 90 degrees and repeat the steps a couple of times to complete a square of shelves. Personally, I find that using collection instances makes the scene a lot lighter and reduces the file size as compared to using duplicated instances of the actual objects. The only thing left to do now is to join these shelves together at the corners. Start by moving the 3D cursor to where the shelves are touching each other. Select the edge loop at the end and extrude them. Right-click to hold them at its place and rotate it 45 degrees using the 3D cursor as the pivot point. Scale them along the X and Y axis until they form a straight diagonal line at the seams. And we are finished! In the next video, I will be showing you guys how to texture the shelf and model the balcony component for our scene. Thank you for watching, save your file, and I'll see you in the next video.